I wish there was an artist famous enough to start doing comedy and forcing Jim Carrey to watch that shit.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's horrible at comedy.
Get ready for your headliner, Damien Hirst.
All right. Minisode, we're on. Boom. Wait and try.
Nice.
All right. So, first thing, we're going to do this is going to be a quick one, right?
Yeah.
So did you want to do a topic?
I got one that, I don't know. Yeah, we could go for it.
All right. We'll be short.
Yeah. So, one topic that I wanted to talk about was, I was thinking of this after Kobe Bryant died, and like just all the talk, like all the praise about him was after him dying. Like a lot of people brought up work ethic, kind of almost like what people like. Aside from being one of the best basketball players ever, like the reason was because he was such like a mercenary kind of thing when it came to like his mindset as far as training so hard. It just kind of had me thinking about like athletes in general, like how much they have to train to be like the best at what they do.
For sure.
And I don't know if it really like, if there's like a parallel to that for art, because art is such a subjective thing. And it just got me thinking like how many artists are actually like putting in that amount of work? Like, is that even necessary to do to be the artist at the top of your field? Or is it just too different of a thing to even compare the two? Because I feel like I'm not painting. Like I don't get up 4 a.m. to paint or whatever.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know, maybe that's not necessary as a painter to have to do that.
I don't know. I totally disagree. I think the most successful painters, at least the most successful painters that I respect, are all probably outworking most people.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that part of it. I don't know if it's, maybe I'm just thinking of it like an extreme way, where I think to be an artist, you probably should be like a little more well-rounded as far as your life goes.
Yeah, probably.
Like as an athlete, you can literally dedicate your whole life to that one thing, and that's like what they prove to you on. Whereas I feel like as an artist, like if you know, what would be the equivalent? Like drawing from plaster cast or something all day. That sort of thing. It's a little different in that way. Although like you could be like a plein air painter and paint all the time and get really good at that. But then you're basically that person in that genre. Yeah.
Definitely, I don't think, like, I think working a shitload is really good for an artist, like putting in hours and like painting and drawing and all that. I think
it's definitely necessary.
And I think it's also really good for like being creative. I think it's a very useful tool for kind of like, not everything you're going to make is going to be creative, but I think it's almost like if you work out 1,000,000 ideas and one is good, you get to that one through like working out the 1,000,000 or what, you know what I mean? Like, rather than just kind of like being one of those people who are like, I'm just going to let the idea come to me. And I'm just going to sit here and wait. Like that to me is like dumb and not,
that's absolutely not the way you should go about it.
Yeah. And I think if, like for me, like that's where the sketchbook is useful. Is like I just play with ideas nonstop, and then I'm like, oh, this one's worth painting, or something near that is worth painting, or that idea is worth pursuing. But I don't come to that idea without at least attempting it. So I think that's where like the more you work, the more you can achieve those like ideas, and then you get like the technical ability from working. You know, I think just working as hard as you can at your technical ability allows you to have the freedom to execute the work that you want to do. And that doesn't come without working hard. And the more you work at that technical ability, the better you're going to get. I mean, I just think it's extremely important to put in as much work as you can. I mean, I understand, like, I'm not saying be Kobe Bryant and be like a fucking singly focused on one fucking thing. I think we do have to be more well-rounded, like you said, but more in the idea of, like, we have to, like, tackle multiple kind of aspects.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think
that's true.
It still takes time and effort. Even just, like, the ability to kind of pay attention to the human experience or some shit like that, you know, like that, like that's something in my brain that I'm never turning off. So in a weird way, it's me working because I'm just people watching and kind of like seeing dynamics of relationships and
for sure
things like that is like my mind's never shut off in like the art kind of mentality of things, even though I'm, you know, driving to the store or some shit like that. You know? So, or like seeing, like yesterday, I saw like 3 people where I was like, ooh, that like lady's posture is hilarious and like would be fun to draw. Or like, oh, that guy, like I saw a homeless guy sleeping on the edge of a tree and I was like, that's like a fucking Rockwell painting. Like that's
right.
Like a modern day. But like that kind of just always having your eye out and thinking about how you can apply it to your world is just like, it's just keeping that like art brain working, even though I'm not doing 1,000 reps of fucking free throws or some shit.
Right.
It's not like a physical exertion. It's just like being in that mental work kind of brain, I think still applies.
Yeah.
Just like I don't rest when it comes to that stuff. It's just like, oh, everything is kind of comes back to that.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. I think artists in general kind of think that way. You're always looking at weird textures, weird things like that.
True.
You know, weird lighting, weird whatever. So, and I think that's just building habits, and that's all he's really doing.
Yeah.
You know, he's building habits for the game day so that everything's just very natural and whatever. He's in his sketchbook is what he's doing.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever. He's drawing, you know, fucking, he's doing plein air shit every day.
Right.
You know? And then when it comes to like his actual, like the shit he's, like the game day scenario, he's fucking ready to like execute the thing that he's supposed to do. And I think artists do it, we just do it in a different way.
Yeah.
That's not so like obvious. And in a weird way, that's one of like the negatives about art. Is that's why you can justify Kobe's greatness by the 1,000 reps. It's like, we're doing 1,000 reps in our head.
The results are like concrete. Like,
right. Yeah. And we're just like looking at homeless people. And that's a rep, you know?
Yeah.
Like, these are things we're taking and this is the work we're putting in constantly, but it's hard to prove it or to like put it down as like, this is why someone's got to, like to the level they're at is by all these hours, but it doesn't really equate that well. Cause like, oh, well, you only painted 4 hours today or, you know, or 12 hours this week or some shit like that. It's like, yeah, but there's a shitload of other work that goes into it.
Right. Yeah.
That you're not really noticing or whatever. But yeah. That's my answer. We're trying to be quick. I don't even know how quick that was. Let's see. 8 minutes. Boom, nailed it.
So I just wanted to throw that out your way. What were you saying?
I was going to say, were you going to add anything?
No, I just feel like I could probably work harder than I have been doing, especially as of late. Okay, there's people who are working like super hard at whatever they're doing and puts a kind of a mirror up to my face. I probably could be working harder in certain aspects of it. It's just like, it just kind of points that out to me.
That's one of my favorite things about social media is like, it gives me that fucking fire. I just know everyone's working harder than me. Yeah. That's how my mind thinks. Like, everyone's working fucking 10 times harder than me. I need to outwork everyone. Right. And I just keep trying to push and push and push. And then when I talk to everyone, they're like, dude, you've been painting like crazy. I'm like, you have? They're like, no, I haven't.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean? And I'm like, no. And I'm like,
that's how I feel too. Yeah. The whole no, I haven't.
Okay. Well, well, you should be telling yourself. I mean,
right. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like I'm too competitive. So even if people aren't working that hard in my head, and not only that, but people are working that hard. Like the upper, like the people I think that are like really on that fucking high level of art.
Oh yeah.
Like they're working hard as shit. And that's just a fact. And that's the people that I'm really like trying to take example from. Like they don't stop. You know, they're just going, like they just, all they do is paint.
Yeah. What's his name? Jeremy Manns. He has an email list, so he sends out emails like every Sunday. Okay. And there's always this little kind of rant in them. And it's very much like grumpy old man, tough love type of advice. Like work your ass off. Nobody gives a shit. You got to like basically create your opportunities by working harder than everyone.
That is a fucking fact. I feel like everyone thinks they're important, but no one's ever thinking about you. And you have to work your ass off for a small percentage of people to actually invest effort into caring.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I mean, who really? There's like so many fucking. It's like also who cares if they don't care? And, but it's not my goal. But yeah, it's also like the idea of the more you attempt things, the more ideas come. I mean, exactly. I believe that wholeheartedly. I don't believe in that. Like, let me sit here and let inspiration come to me. I mean, that happens. You know, you get an idea out of the blue and you're like, fuck, that might be good and it might work out great. But I'm also like an idea whore. Like I want to move to the next one and the next one. I don't want to get stuck on an idea. I'm like, cool, that was a fun idea. What's next? Like, what else do I get to geek out about and figure out and explore?
For sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. You made my 8 minutes get longer.
Sorry.
All right, what do we got next?
Got questions from one way too many part questions, specifically aimed at me. So sorry.
Okay.
So Plague of Crows asks, what is my setup for plein airing and does it change depending on distance being walked to get to the right location? And the second part is if gear and weight wasn't a factor, where would you plein air?
It's a great question. I'll take it from here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know, a very fact-based answer to it. But I'd say, like, I have two different plein air setups. One that I use for, like, my larger, my larger canvases, and the ones where I go, like, for, like, hiking or going short distances. And that's... that probably weighs like 10 pounds or so, something like that, with everything, bringing like the brushes, and actually the paint is probably like the biggest weight thing. Just those tubes add up with weight pretty quickly. That and the tripod are my two most weight adding things. So yeah, it changes depending on the distance, because like if I'm hiking, then I have to take it on my back, and there's a lot of times where I can put it on a cart and move my stuff over there, and I'll do that for if I'm going to the same spot and doing a larger painting, and it's not that big a deal to move stuff along the terrain, because my cart does okay, but it doesn't do great on like rocky terrain or going up a hill at all. So yeah, I mean, gear and weight isn't really a factor. Usually I just like trim down as far as like, if I know I'm going to have to walk somewhere far, then I just won't take as much stuff with me. So it doesn't, stuff like that doesn't factor into it at all where I would plein air.
I got a question for you. When I used to do graffiti, we would go to like random fucking things. It's like the closest I get to plein air, right?
Yeah.
So you go to like we go on these like random hikes to like this abandoned whatever,
for sure,
in the middle of nowhere. And depending on what we were trying to accomplish, would change our setup. So like if we were trying to do like a roller, which is just like something really high up using roller poles, and usually you're trying to go really big, you end up having a shitload of equipment. Sometimes like ladders, sometimes roller poles, sometimes shitload of bucket paint. Is there ever like a scenario where you're trying to accomplish something? I don't know. It kind of reminds me of, I remember you were telling me, or you when you used to try to teach me art history. Remember that?
Yeah.
And
back in the day.
What was the dude's name who like would do shit on the beach? And
yeah, Soroya. Yeah.
Yes, I thought it was Soroya, but I was like, I'm not gonna take that shot. And you know how you were saying like you would bring these large canvases to the beach. Do you ever do you ever get this like, oh, I really want to do like this really big thing in this location? Let me bring this large canvas or like just like a more intense setup than like your usual like I just need to get like the colors down or whatever you do, like these little like thumbnails to like reference for later. Do you ever?
I much rather work that way.
Yeah.
Like since time is such a factor, and especially like if depending on where I'm painting too, like if it's a place that I like, I don't feel like I'm going to be able to do a satisfactory large painting on location.
How about have you ever tried to like have a camp set up like right next to where you're painting and just kind of like wake up and paint that spot and go back to sleep? Is that even a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, you could do that for sure. Personally, I haven't done it enough. Well, no, I did it like a little bit in when we camped in the Eastern Sierras for like 5 days. And yeah, you could just have your setup there ready for you in the morning.
Right.
I didn't attempt anything large because I didn't want to like try and pack a large canvas up there. So, I mean, yeah, it's totally possible. And like a lot of artists used to do that back in the day. It doesn't seem like it's as popular to do anymore.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now that we have cameras.
yeah, that. But yeah, it's something maybe I'll attempt one of these days. But yeah, the difference is just being able to take the stuff to the actual like location I'm going to set my easel up at. So yeah.
For sure. All right. So where are we at now?
As far as what?
Topic?
I mean, you had one
topic. So topic, fan question.
Yeah.
Oh, no, hate. Yeah. Is that hate thing?
Hate time, yeah.
This ties back into Kobe Bryant.
You want to talk some shit?
So, the thing I want to talk shit about today is motherfuckers making artwork after someone dies.
Are you thinking of one in specifically?
No.
Worn by a certain rapper?
What do you mean?
Oh, maybe you didn't see this. Ludacris wore this outfit to the NBA All-Star game this weekend, and it was a picture of Kobe on his sweater or whatever it was, and it looks more like Luda than Kobe.
Really?
Yeah, it's so bad. It looks like a Picasso drawing or something.
I just think, I don't know. It's like, you know, like that Ari Shaffir thing that happened where he talked shit about Kobe.
Yeah.
I think it's lame when someone tries to kind of get attention through the death of someone.
Okay.
I just don't. I mean, if like, don't get me wrong, you can paint whatever the fuck you want to paint, but there's like this weird thing that every time a celebrity dies, all of a sudden my feed is filled with fucking celebrity paintings and
right,
and whatever.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, how much of this is like you getting attention for the death of someone? It's I don't know. To me, it's like a weird thing of like, unless I'm perfectly fine if you posted some shit you painted like 5 years ago.
Right.
You know, like you painted Kobe back in the day, and then he died, and you're like, yeah, obviously I'm a huge fan, but I'm a bit suspicious when you're fucking painting a celebrity right when they die. I'm like, what is this? a weird clout chase to the tragedy of a human being.
Right.
To me, it's like
that's true. Yeah, that's definitely suspect.
I mean, every time a celebrity dies, now me and MJ were like, get ready for some fucking blah 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 paintings.
Right. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're just like, there they are. There they are. All right, cool.
Yep.
And I really don't judge people. I usually try to read the caption to see when they painted it because I'm like, all right, I don't mind that. But then when it's like, most of the time it's not that. And I don't know. It annoys the shit out of me. Not always. Sometimes it seems like, especially if they seem really heartfelt, like, but sometimes it's just like, and there we go. Now give me some likes. I don't know. That was my...
Yeah.
thing.
No, I mean, that's definitely worth talking shit about for sure. It is annoying. I mean, yeah, for those reasons, like, oh, you're just trying to capitalize on tragedy, basically.
Yeah. The other I had 2 talk shits. I wish I fucking pulled this up. The other talk shit I had was Jim Carrey was on Ellen DeGeneres show.
Was he?
And he was like, I'm going to do some spray painting on your floor. And it was like the most cringiest bullshit I ever saw.
Oh, I had no idea about
right
that.
up there with Aladdin. But yeah, he's just such a shitty artist. And it drives me nuts. I wish there was an artist famous enough to start doing comedy and forcing Jim Carrey to watch that shit.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's horrible at comedy.
Get ready for your headliner, Damien Hirst.
But it's one of those weird, it's like one of those things where if you're good, you're good. Don't get me wrong. Like if Jim Carrey was good at art, I'd be like, cool, good on him.
Right.
But it's this like, because I'm a celebrity, you have to pretend that my art is good. Like you have to, like my art is justified just because of who I am,
right,
rather than my skill. And he does this dumb thing. Everyone go look it up and fucking want to punch your computer screen or whatever, or iPhone or whatever you're watching it on. But
yeah,
it's brutal. It's I don't know.
Yeah,
I just hate Jim Carrey now.
That sucks. Because I watched Dumb and Dumber not too long ago because it was on TV.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I used to love Jim Carrey so much. Like, even like his In Living Color characters, like I was thinking about him, like Fire Marshal Bill is such a good character just because like I didn't even get why at the time, but he's this like fire marshal who is like burnt. Like there's something hilarious about that. Like like the teeth thing he does with it. It's like, oh, he's because he's got no lips because they're burnt off.
Right. I know, it's so dark and hilarious. Yeah. I mean,
but it's just like, God, now you're doing that.
He's great at that stuff.
Yeah.
But man,
I just hate
he also
that.
like does a shitload
Jim
of political art, which I'm just not a big fan of.
Refer to our last mini episode.
It is what it is. So I'm just talking shit.
Yeah, for sure.
We should introduce like a positive note to this fucking mini-sode. One happy thought.
Right, yeah, probably. Ended on a downer instead.
Yeah. Speaking about Jerry Mann, by the way, that last drawing he did with the floral pattern on that dress, did you see that thing?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, that was a beast of a drawing.
Oh, yeah, his drawings are fucking good. Like when he spends that much time on it. It's pretty awesome.
God. Yeah. All right. Was that it? Did you have something to hate?
Did I have something I hate? I did, but I forgot. But I mean, really the only thing was the Kobe Bryant Ludacris thing was like the first thing that came up to my head about that.
Yeah.
I just think it's hilarious. Like, I mean, I can't even really hate it other than like, I think that anybody who would wear that and just like has shitty taste.
Yeah.
Because like, it's not even a good drawing. Like, did Ludacris actually look at that and be like, that's good? Like,
you never know. Some motherfuckers have no concept of what good art is.
I mean, yeah, I think he fits in that category.
Yeah. I remember, still to this day.
But the memes are going to be glorious.
Yeah. Well, God, Ludacris. Well, It's probably good for his career in some weird way. I mean,
Maybe.
who's been talking about Ludacris?
Right. That's true.
Well, yeah. Awesome.
All right.
Well, let us know what you guys hate.
Yeah, for sure. I always love hearing that.
This has been... Oh, wait, should you sign off? Go ahead, Sergio.
This has been a mini-sode. If you've been listening up to this point, find something to hate.
Yeah.